Hello, everybody, and welcome to Comics News Today. I am Chester C. Busby III, and joining me, of course, is our chairman, Mr. DeWolf, and the Denali Lama, of course. So, how you guys doing today? It's kind of a gloomy day where I am, but I do have a cup of coffee, and I'm sitting with my friends. So, it's a wonderful day for me. How about you guys? What's the weather like over there, DeWolf?
Yeah, it's cloudy and overcast, but I'm fandabulous.
Awesome. And how about you,
It's
Denali?
hot. It's hot and humid, like always.
Like always. All right. Well, guys, we had to do a upload for tomorrow, so we're definitely been busy this morning, but we got over here on time, and we're happy to see you. So let's just go ahead and the three of us go over there and put up some links and make sure everybody knows that we are going on and here live. And of course, we're going to be talking about news today. And as we do that, we want to remind you of all the links we have down below. And of course, we have our link to FanSpeak, which is our Facebook group, and we really want everyone to go over and we're join happy to that see you. So because let's just go. That's a growing community there, and we have a lot of people putting in their art and their reviews and their ideas, and that's what we want. We want you guys to go over there and get involved and tell us, what you're thinking. We also have links from me at my Facebook, Chester C. Busby III, and my Twitter. And if you want to be on the show or you want to contact me about anything, including like being on the Join Recorded Fan Edition, you just go ahead and go in there and tell me, and I will do my best to get everything done and involve you as we want you to be involved. We also have our podcast, which are on Anchor. And if you enjoy podcasting, please check that out. And of course, last, we have our Streamlabs donation. And we use those donations to give out. Gifts and giveaways here on the channel. So if you want to get involved in that and donate some money for giveaways, please do so. All right. So,
Hey,
Denali, you have
Chester.
anything you want to do to give us some updates on things that are going on?
Well, we have Drawn in Quarter tonight, the fan edition. So we're going to be following up Vash the CMP from last night.
That's right.
So good luck to all those artists. Hopefully, Booster's not drunk and will actually show up before the last 10 minutes. The second thing is we have Drawn in Quarter again next Thursday. So just make sure. And then we have Fan Speak this Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern. So we won't have Fan Speak tomorrow. So be sure to remember that. We have Bugbear Basement next Tuesday and at 8 p.m. And as always, we have Comics News Today at 8 p.m. every day, basically.
That's right. That's
And
right.
Right. Hey, hey, isn't the comic book charity for Comicsgate is that's still going on, right?
The Comics Titans fundraiser. Yeah, actually, they're going to do more in the future. I think they were talking about quarterly, or I'm not sure exactly what their time frame is, but that is still going on. And you can go to the Facebook group at Comics Titans fundraiser to get into the next one. I'm pretty sure, at least to get information on it. We should have either Eric. Neil Lotowski or Pope Fire come on and talk about that a little bit more as far as their future plans. But I'm pretty sure you're right there, DeWolf.
Yeah, yeah. Last I heard, they're still going on, and for everyone. And I said for everyone. And let me just go ahead and reinforce what Chester said about involvement.
Hmm.
FanSpeak is definitely for the involvement of everyone. We do have creators on, but we love to have fans on because that's what makes this whole thing movement what it is the fans being involved, the fans doing their backing, and everything happening. And so we like to get more information from the fans because it helps the creators too. We like to do that, give the ideas from the fans, and to the creators, so the creators can go ahead and get out what you want to see, and that's important.
It is, and we understand that we're a small channel here, and but we are trying to grow, and but what we're trying to do is say that, hey, we're consumers, but we also have a lot of people with a lot of expertise that are around us, and more and more of them are coming and offering that expertise. And what we're saying to the pros is, hey, take advantage of that, because we're gung ho about this community and all this Indiegogo revival, and we want to be involved. We want to help. We want to do what we can. So take advantage of that, right? I mean, that's kind of what we're saying, right?
Right.
Yeah,
And congratulations for to Lone Wolf for making their goal and
yeah.
being fully funded. So
Oh, awesome.
congratulations, you guys.
That is cool. That is cool. We did try to get them on, but we had some scheduling problems. But I'm glad that they were able to do that. And let me come over here to chat and say hello to you guys. Sierra Whiskey is here. He says, hello. What's the word of the day? Well, hello, sir. And I do hope that Raccoon Riot is coming along. And sir, if you need any help with that or any involvement, please let me know. I think that's a great idea. I love Gamma World, and that certainly has a Gamma World flavor to it. Um, we also have March Hare here. He says, "Hi all, hello, March Hare." Tank Ferret, how you doing today? I'm assuming he's working or something, or he'd be sitting up here with us. And yeah, hopefully the rest of you guys are getting in here. Will chat with us and tell us what you're thinking. Give us your opinions on the news we're about to start with. But also keep in mind that hitting that like button, hitting that subscribe button, please do. That certainly helps us. If you feel like you want to be part of what we're doing, please do that. But the thing that actually helps us the most is you hitting that share button and letting all your friends and family know that we're doing this and having them come and get involved and have them enjoy what we're doing. And also keep in mind that if you guys have any suggestions for us or any ideas, of course, you can always share that on FanSpeak, the Facebook page, and the link is just down there below. But you also can leave down here in the comments, and you can give us suggestions, try to help us make the show better, because that's what we want to do. But we're going to go ahead and move into our news. And Denali, we are going to start with a CBR story, which, hey guys, we go to everywhere to get our news. And this is HBO's Watchmen casts its Osmandius. Ooh, we're
Hmm.
talking Watchmen, man.
Right. So ba is Jeremy Irons. So who is a great actor.
He can be.
And and it depends on the property, but they have announced that Jeremy Irons is going to be um, the Asmodean um, character for the HBO.
Asmandius.
Sorry, Asmodeus. Correction, Asmodeus character for the HBO Watchmen, which
Mm-hmm.
supposedly not the same Watchmen. It's supposed to be a kind of like a prequel to the films, and loosely connected to the comics and everything. Um,
Yeah, but
so
that's
it's going to
cool
be
too, though, right?
interesting how they're right. So it's going to be interesting how they're doing it. But we have Damon Lindelof as the writer that's helming this production. So he's a hit and miss. Usually too many misses, in my opinion. But
Well,
we'll see how it goes.
to be fair, Jeremy Irons is hit and miss too. When he's on, he's
Yeah.
fabulous. When he's off, he's Dungeons and Dragons. So.
Right.
Any give us your opinion on this here, DeWolf. Did you like the Watchmen? The Osmandius character is well, I love that character. It's very cool.
Yeah, I think that it's one of those. I, I'm kind of with you on the fact that it can be both on and off.
Hmm.
The idea of having the Watchmen have a series though, and like this is I'm looking forward to it because of what the Watchmen has kind of did in the comics and things. They introduced different ideas, different theories and concepts to characters that or the character types that we knew and loved and we enjoyed them, and then all of a sudden bang, here comes the Watchmen, and it was a new and different feel for superheroes and what could happen with a group. So I in that regard I wish this concept all the best.
Yeah. Cool. You got any further opinions on this, Denali? I think you just wait and see, right? But sounds
Yeah.
interesting. A prequel. That's not a bad idea.
Right. So it'll be definitely interesting what they will bring to the game to the table.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I can see it, right? I mean, The Watchmen and, of course, the movie as well, it does cover their history, little by little. But, of course, the story is unfolding in the modern time, well, their modern time. But actually going back when they were a team before, all the stuff that happened and brought them to the conclusion of that story. But when they were a
Yeah.
team working, that would be a good idea, I think. That would be a nice superhero show.
Well, here's an interesting idea that kind of leaped into my mind as you were talking,
Mm,
and because we will be talking about the next article, which will segue, is Dr. Manhattan role in reconning and rewriting time and history. Um, so could this be another of Dr. Manhattan's projects to see, if the events of the original Watchmen could be changed? Did it have to continue being like this, or does history um, continue to repeat itself regardless of what consequences is
that's
it set in
interesting.
stone?
That's an interesting idea because, as many of you know, in DC, they have been putting forth the idea that the Watchmen, in particular, Dr. Manhattan, has manipulated the situation of the current, you know, macroverse of the DC worlds, right? So that's a good point. Maybe they'll think that deep, or maybe they won't. We'll have to see. This writer, as you said, he is kind of hit and miss.
Right. And which leads to our next segue of,
Hmm.
Grant Morrison run
Yeah.
with the Green Lantern.
Yep. Absolutely.
Um,
Let me jump over and
and
grab
he
that.
had, yep. So the you have Dr. Manhattan back in the forefront since DC Doomsday reveal that he's the reason he removed all hopes from DC, and that's why they were all, unlike the DC character because there was hope. And could you really be a hero and do what you need to do if you don't have any hope or you inspire hopes in others in yourself?
Now, is this story going to upset me, Denali? I mean, I'm a Green Lantern fan after all.
Right. So this is going to be a by Grant Morrison. So he's going to be deconstructing the lore behind the Green Lantern and doing his trippy ways. And he's going to be using Dr. Manhattan to facilitate that by rewriting Green Lantern's history. So the changes that's coming to Green Lantern is because of Dr. Manhattan. So you're making Dr. Manhattan a deity, basically, you
Ugh.
know,
Yep,
Yeah.
and
that is
you're
what
gonna.
they're doing. Yeah, absolutely.
Mhm.
I like it. I like it when you establish a character and I get to know and love him, and then there's this kind of twist backstory, and then it reveals more and maybe a bigger world and some other things that are happening. That's cool. But this sounds more along the line of the dreaded word that we don't like, and that's the retconning.
Hmm.
You know, we're just going to change the past because now we think this would be kind of maybe interesting, and lo and behold, ta-da! No. So hopefully it's the former, not the latter.
And here's the question: how far are they rewriting? Are they going all the way back when they made Hal Jordan the villain back in the early '90s, '80s with that storyline? With Crisis of Infinite Earth, are they going to recon all that? Are they going to bring back the worlds of different universe? Are they going to implode it again? What is the end game for this?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. Well, and it also comes down to what's their purpose. If they're looking at using Dr. Manhattan to simply clean up their continuity and, get things on the straight and narrow, as it were, that's not a bad idea. It is certainly a character capable of that. But if they're using this to just add more of the nonsense we've seen DC continuing to offer more of, I mean, honestly, DC has never been as bad as Marvel when it comes to this progressive thinking. They're trying to shove their politics down our throat, but they are certain. We're seeing more of it, and I'm just that's what worries me about it, in truth. But we don't know yet. We just have to see what they do, and we'll talk about it when they do. Over here in the chats here, Whiskey is very excited, and he's talking about his raccoon riot, which is very cool. He's also said that he's got his setup ready, but he's still trying to get his Blue Yeti mic working just right because right now it's so sensitive that he can hear his hair grow. Hmm, that's interesting. But he does have a lot of ideas, and I'm really looking forward to it. I think that's a cute idea with the Raccoon Riot Man. All right, guys. Unless you have anything else to talk about this, I mean, those two articles were very much connected. Do we? We should just move on.
Yeah, let's move on to the
Excellent.
next one.
All right. Now, this one's a nice little fun-hearted one, possibly. Johnny Quest film to be directed by Lego Batman movie, Chris McKay. I like the Lego movie. That was fun. Did you guys like the Lego Batman movie?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. It was fun for what it was.
Darkness. Yeah, it was funny. My kids
Yeah,
liked it
yeah.
too.
No
But
parents.
it's one of the very teeny article because it's not much information. It's basically a headline, which is what you see a lot of these sites do these days. And I guess that's what we do too. We'll take a headline and then we just talk. We'll expound upon it. But I guess first question with this to the guys here sitting next to me and as well as the chat. Did you guys watch Johnny Quest?
Yeah.
Boomerang.
Boomerang, nice. I remember when Johnny Quest came out before, originally, and it's got the appeal of the young man doing high adventurous concepts. And when you're a kid, you want to see a kid doing things like that, that's pretty cool. There was some parts of it, I think, at my age level that maybe went over my head that I couldn't grasp, with the scientists and the father figure, what they were trying to do. But it was always fun to see a young man in some exciting things.
Yeah, no, no. I grew up with Johnny Quest, and I enjoyed it. Actually, from I guess my generation, we had Johnny Quest or Tintin. They're very similar in some ways, and I always preferred Johnny Quest over Tintin. Tintin was a little boring to me, but Johnny Quest was always cool, and I loved Johnny Quest. And they had a great, great opening theme song too. It was really good. But so what it, now? I think this is just a positive article overall. I liked Lego Batman. Sierra Whiskey liked Lego Batman. It was a lot of fun. It was hilarious. It was quirky. Now, of course, this also means that they're probably going to be doing a jokey Johnny Quest, which is odd because Johnny Quest wasn't jokey at all. It was quite serious.
No, no.
So, what do you
Yeah.
think about a comedy version of Johnny Quest? Because that's kind of what it probably is going to be. I mean, that you hire a comedy writer, you're a movie guy, you're going to get a comedy movie, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I could, there always was a little bit of a, maybe I'd say, slapstick or sort of the offhand comment, funny situation with him and the little dog got into things. But otherwise it was more Indiana Jones, if I remember correctly,
Hmm.
and
Yeah,
Oh
with a
yeah, yeah.
you can
kid.
and you can think of it as the Lego movie as well, where it was funny, but it still had a solid story.
And it has diversity. There's a white-haired one, and a yellow-haired one, and a red-haired one, and there's a boy with a turban. I think he's a Sikh. His name is Haji.
Yeah.
And they had the
Yeah.
Diversity.
little dog.
And they had a little dog. Yeah. No, I love Johnny Quest. It was a lot of fun. So this is a fun little bit of news, and we will keep an eye on that, of course, as many other things we keep an eye on, because I think this is a great, fun idea, and I hope they don't ruin it. Is the only real issue, yeah. But
Yep.
moving on to other things that we have been
Hey,
keeping an eye on. Go ahead.
if they had Dr. Jekyll, I'm not sure they ever had a show with Dr. Jekyll on, but if they did, then they'd have, of course, Mr. Hyde.
Hmm.
Then they in that case they'd have on Hyde and Seek.
Dad jokes here live
You do
on
not have to
Comics
laugh.
News Today.
Okay.
Welcome to FanSpeak. Um, but we have been following this as well, and it's really cool, huh, Denelli? Because every day
Right.
we're getting some update about Swamp Thing, man. It makes me feel like it's really soon, it's coming soon, but not really. They just started shooting in North Carolina just recently, so but they're really pumping this
Right.
up. Go ahead and introduce us to this article.
So they have Kevin Durant is in talk for the Swamp Thing Pharaonic Man role, which was featured heavily in the Alan Moore era.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a atomic villain when it first appeared, but it was heavily featured in his run, Alan Moore. So they are pulling a lot of stuff from the Alan Moore era. So I think we can kind of narrow that focus down
Mm.
as well. And then they're going to probably add some of the new 52, green stuff and everything.
Which is fine.
Uh,
Um,
yeah.
yeah,
And
and
what was interesting about the Pharaonic man is that when he appears Swamp Thing, he has the power of control over plants, and he was literally eating and consuming Swamp Thing um, before Swamp Thing realized what his true nature was.
mhm. Yeah,
So it's gonna be interesting.
it will be. And I just clicked on this, and I was very scared to do so, but I did, and it came out okay. So awesome. What do you think, DeWolf? You were getting excited about Swamp Thing, and we keep talking about it every day. We're talking about it. So, what do you think?
Yeah, it's pretty exciting. I'm sort of stuck on Floronic Man.
Yeah, well, you know, comic
That's an
books.
amazing word.
Yeah. It makes sense though. I mean, it does suit, but yeah, no, comic books are comic books. They can be cheesy, they can be very camp and goofy. I guess the overall question I would ask is, who do you think has the better naming conventions, DC Comics or Marvel?
Oh, Marvel.
Marvel. Denali?
Mm, actually, it's a toss up because DC sometimes has the better convention, but then they roll out with the really lame ones, and then Marvel comes up with really good ones, and then they have lame ones as well.
Yep, no, that's true. I think overall Marvel is better though, but I don't know
Mhm.
why. When I grew up, absolutely a Marvel kid and a Marvel guy. I've certainly read some DC and Image and Indies. I read other stuff, but I mean, like Mike Barron's Badger, I love that. But I'm a Marvel guy. Now, why is that? What do you guys think makes? What is the difference between a Marvel guy and a DC guy? Why do we choose these sides? What do you think it is? What do you think, DeWolf?
Well, and it's different now. I've heard a lot of people now talking, so much more in favor of DC than Marvel. But for us, in that we are kind of around that same era. We're both Marvel, so I think maybe it's the eras of people.
Hmm.
Because back in the late '80s to '90s time frame,
Hmm.
DC just seemed, I don't know, campy a little bit more. Marvel was getting a little bit into the muties type of a thing, but they
Yeah,
also had
yeah,
New York and Manhattan, while DC has Capital City, Gotham, and now Gotham City's cool. The whole Batman convention is so much cooler than kind of the rest of DC. But
it's true.
it's
It
not a
is true.
real
Yeah.
it's not a real world and it's not a real place. I think for Marvel it feels more real because they use real names and real areas,
Hmm.
while DC is made up stuff. So it seems more like a made up world and not real.
Well, that's true. And also during the '80s, we also had Chris Claremont, and I think that has a lot to do with a lot. He was an amazing guy that just made the X-Men this amazingly, this powerhouse of a thing. And when I was growing up, there was no comparison. Marvel dominated DC all the time. So yeah, maybe it just comes down to who was doing better at the time. Interesting.
Yeah. Characters with faults. Seem like Marvel introduced more characters earlier that had complex characters versus more one-sided themes.
Mm,
And that's the nail on the head right there. Uh, the Wolf, that for Marvel, their character had internalized conflicts and flaws that they had to overcome, and because they were able to overcome their they became more interesting and more heroic compared to DC, which their flaws were external. So they had to overcome it and became lesser. So you were dealing with, for Marvel, think of them, if you were thinking of Greek mythology, DC are the Greek gods
yeah.
and they have to overcome the external forces. Marvel are the demigods and heroes like Hercules and Jason's and, you know, the other. like Hector's and all the other
Sure. That's fair point. Fair
heroes.
point. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what does that mean
So
about modern times, right? In modern times, it seems like there's been that switch, right? That the Marvel characters have become more shallow, while DC is now has more complexity in their characters.
Oh no, the modern ones are just those rejected humans that we put into those special institutions no one wants to talk about. That's what we have today.
and
Well, the
here's
chat
the
has something to say about it.
Yeah, they do. Coming over to the chat, we have Sierra Whiskey says, "Forget the past, kill it if you have to. That's the anthem of these human potatoes." Yes, it seems to be. Joshua Hughes is here, our favorite troll. Fire is about to go live now, and the topic is Raven. Hail Raven! I bet it is. Uh, Tank is enjoying the show. They still talk about Lego Batman. Maverick Max says, I watch the reruns, talk about Johnny Quest. And Tank Fair says, Sim Sim Salabim, mind powers. Yes. Sierra Whiskey said Tintin was for the mellow cats. Johnny Quest was for the hardcore kids. I guess so. Um, March Hare will be right back, everybody, and we'll wait for that. Um, and Maverick Max says, we're getting a Swamp Thing show. What a time to be alive. Awesome. And Tank Ferret is Fantastic versus Grounded. Interesting. Talking about the difference between DC and Marvel. And of course, Doctor Doom says DC doesn't have Doctor Doom. Therefore, Marvel is better, I would guess. No bias there. Nick W. Today, DC, Edgelord, and Marvel equals SJW. I guess so. DC is a little more edgelordy, and Marvel is just lost its damn mind. And Argo Creation joins us. Hello, how you doing there? Except Thor and Hyperion, they're OP. Lol. Yeah, no, Thor and Hyperion are extremely OP, but you got to have some of that cosmic level stuff, you know. All right, guys. Well, that was an interesting little conversation there, and of course, we're gonna keep talking about Swamp Thing. I hope you guys don't hate us for it because I'm loving it, and I hope I'm not disappointed. You think I might be building myself up for a fall here, Denali?
yeah,
Oh goodness.
get ready for those bourbon shots.
This one right
It's
here is this page is a mess. Let me get rid of this page. All right, this is another messy page. Why do you guys do that? Come on now. Let's see. We'll do one more article here, and this once again, it's a messy page, but this one we do need to talk about. So I got to figure out how to clean this up as we speak. So let me do this real quick. You know what? We have done 27 minutes on the news. Let's go ahead and switch over to IndieCron. How about that? And
right.
I'll try to fix that in the background maybe, and we might be able to come back to that. But anyway, moving on. On this show every day, we like to do our news and we like to talk about IndieCron. And of course, IndieCron is created by Pixel Trader. He is the sponsor of this channel, FanSpeak, and all the things we do. And we thank him for all the work he does. IndieCron is an amazing site. If you guys haven't checked it out yet, please do, because this is where you're going to find all the Indiegogos that are in our community and be able to make a decision whether you want to back them. And we talk about them ourselves, and we try to help you make that decision if we can, and just by offering our opinion. Now, as we see here, the one of the nice things about IndieCron, other than you can click on every tab and it brings up all the various things you might want to look for. It's very easy to search. He also has this thing up top here where he has the project that is going to be finishing soon, and here we have Celestial is going to be finishing soon. So let's go take a look at it.
Right. And reading the chat, Nick W says Deadpool Pelosi confirmed. Yep, that's the PG-13 cut once upon a Deadpool to a
Yeah.
theater near you. But yeah, it's not gonna make it. It's only $300 raised and they're asking for 5,000. So they would need $4,300
Yeah, it's
in
not
a
gonna make it.
couple in 6 hours
Yeah, it's not going
to
to
make it.
So let's look at it and let's try to understand why it didn't make a lot of money, if we can. This is a
Well,
little. Yeah, go
I have
ahead.
some bad news from over here, and that is I've got to be leaving. So Of course, we know why I have to leave sometimes. That's so that I can, go and back all these great comic books.
That's true.
So
Work.
it's true.
Yeah.
That's the whole reason why I got to go, just to
Yeah.
back more comic books.
All right.
Hey, Tank
So I'll
Ferret,
catch
if
you, I'll catch you guys later and have a great show.
hey, later, DeWolf. Thanks a lot, man. We'll check you out later. Hey, Tank Ferret, if you're available, man, jump in here with us, please. All right, Denali. Now, we're sitting here looking at this page. It says Celestial. It says a classic 80s style action adventure comic and video game project. That sounds interesting. Of course, once again, they're using that video, but it's not a bad little image here. It looks fine. And they have some options down the below, too, which is nice, showing a video game here. Okay, so it's not horrible. Like I said, I think you should have a big picture and then have the video below. That would be my suggestion. But this isn't horrible. It's not so bad. There's not much of a layout of exactly what's going on, but okay, a classic 80s style action adventure comic and video game project. All right, so let's come down here. Um, now, have you checked this one out before, Denali?
Yeah, I mean, just starting from the first part, they offer 3 videos, not just one, but 3 videos on the
Yeah,
very top.
that's right.
And, and then on the overview, it says, as a kid of the 80s, Celestial is a work of great personal emotional importance to me. Already, I think we mentioned this way back, is we don't this is useless for us. We don't, as a consumer, we don't really want to read this. We want to get into the story. We want to know what this is all about.
Hmm.
This part, you can put it all the way in the bottom,
Yeah,
because this is a first glance and you're trying to catch her in the eyes.
yeah,
And when you're reading this, you're like, okay, thank you, but you're not telling me anything, and I'm going to click off, kind of deal.
yeah. No,
Then
it's
you have
true.
the character design. Yeah, then you have the character designs of of the cast,
And I can
which
barely
is
see them.
correct.
Can barely see them, but they look good. And to be honest with you, they do have a lot of art
Mhm.
down below for you to see. But that could have been
Right,
blown up and expanded a little bit. I mean, these pages are not that limited. You can use a bunch of space. There's a lot of space that people don't use on these Indiegogos. But okay, so if one, we suggest that if you want 3 videos, great. Just put them down here. And but put a big old huge picture up here that just catches everyone's attention. And the art here looks pretty good, actually. And put your videos down here, guys. And also, when you're doing your perks, put your best choice perk here. That's where it goes. This is your best choice. The featured perk should go right here, and then you can have all your other perks. Now, they don't have a lot of perks here, but that doesn't mean anything. That doesn't necessarily it isn't necessarily a bad thing. But I would assume that this $50 one should be sitting, or the $15 one should no, it has to be the no, I'm wrong. He needs more perks. There's not enough
right.
here. Yeah, it's not
So
enough here.
he's so he talks about the cast and everything, talking about what the whole story is. But then you do the sample, and it's just reading it, reading it, reading it, reading it, reading it, reading it. Okay, then you can download the free comic here. So, and then you get to the pitch. Already, you de-incentivized me to actually purchase because you're giving me a free comic book.
Yeah, see, yeah.
To
These perks are a mess. But I don't know if that's the big hit in the head though. That caused this not to make money. But yeah, these need to be better. Wow, we really need to do a tutorial, Denelli. Tank, can you do me a
Yeah,
favor and send a link to Manny, please?
Yes, 1 second.
Thank you. Um, now, yeah. So, okay. Before we get further down, let's take a look at this link right here. Let's take a look at this perk. All right, $5 poster. Okay. So $5 for a poster. Well, aren't you selling a book here? I'm not sure. I'm confused. $15 T-shirt. Okay. And then $50. All right. So they're not selling
yeah,
anything.
right. So
What
they're
are
not
they?
selling. Where's the book?
So yeah.
Exactly.
What are you doing here? Let me go back up and read this. Maybe I'm confused. This says a classic 80s style action adventure comic and video game project. Okay. So you're doing two things at the same time. As a kid, they just franchise transform Thundercats. You might okay, yes, yes, yes. So I am looking to recapture some of the magic. Okay, that doesn't tell me anything. Um,
Right. Which is what I point the pitch to try, and you got to scroll all the way down to the bottom of the page. The pitch is to try and get more people interested in comic and on board to financially support the whole Celestine project and the ongoing creative efforts of myself and the Retrolution Games. While the comics and video games are our primary pursuit, we intend to greatly expand and produce far more products, merchandise, and projects as we continue to gain experience, grow, and develop as a team. And
okay.
more people are willing to help out by pledging and financing, the more we're able to do. Okay. So, still one paragraph, you're not telling me what your goal is.
Okay.
The initial goal
I see.
is to reach our target of 5,000 to produce a new story once we're done wrapping up part 3 of our current Murder City Meltdown. As explained in the video, the new story will focus more of developing the character and the relationship with each other and the world around them, initiating story arcs which continue. But again, so feedback on the two. Okay, again, you're what are you selling? Are you just selling the merchandise? Because if you're trying to sell just merchandise, you know,
No.
we're looking for a book.
Yeah, I get what they're doing.
Hmm.
Tank, you want to give your opinion before I take time and make noise?
We can move on.
No,
This you guys
we're
pretty
not going to
much
move
broke
on.
it down.
Yeah, no. Okay. All right, all right. Now I'm sending a link over here to Sporkman, who's down in the chat. So hit that link and join us, please. Just keep in mind to enter gently. Okay. Now, yeah, no. What they're doing here is they're trying to do a marketing campaign in lieu of what's coming up. I get it. Okay, I got you now. I got you. But look how long it took me to figure out what you were doing, and I needed a Denali Lama's help to do it. I mean, what are you doing? All that information should be boom right here, right? And you should have all this comic stuff later, and you should have this poster should be here. You should have this T-shirt here. That's just a cameo thing. But you should be saying, "Oh, we're selling the poster. We're selling a T-shirt. Buy a T-shirt." This is a T-shirt campaign. This is for drumming up business and interest. I get what you're doing. I get it. It's not a comic book, and that's why you've only got $300. I see.
Yeah, and there's no option for me to like this. Really, those characters they look good, but they're so tiny. Like
Hmm.
if that was the slide up at the top, um, that would have been incredible.
Yeah, it would have been. You're right.
But and I would have loved to be able to buy like trading cards or little mini prints of that, like a pack of those. That would be a good product.
Yeah, but I see what they're doing, and I understand why they didn't make money. Marketing is a good idea, but you have to market right, and you also want to be around. Have you guys seen Luke Kierden around? There's a lot of sites. Has you guys seen them talking at all?
No.
Not to my knowledge,
I
no.
haven't either. That doesn't mean they haven't. But Luke, get in touch with some of these sites. You guys can call us. We're very accessible. We're not necessarily going to make you tons of money here, but being on this show, other people see you and invite you as well. Or going on some show, we see it and like, oh, he's over there. Hey, let's go talk to Luke. That's how you move around, right? I think doing marketing is a great idea. I love the idea. You just didn't set your page up very well. But just looking at the project itself beyond that, I mean, look at the art. I think it's great. I think it looks good. It's fun.
No, it looks good. Um, yeah, it's a shame that it's well they how much time do they have left?
Oh, six
About six
hours.
hour.
Yeah, it's
Oh
long.
Yeah.
yeah, get it back together and relaunch it. This
Yeah.
is a good idea. It just needs to be composed well.
It does, yeah. And this is a flexible goal, but you need to let people know what you're doing. This is a marketing Indiegogo for an upcoming project. So, yeah, just keep trying to improve, guys, and take advantage of it. There's a lot of us in the community. We want to talk with you. We want to have the opportunity to sit down with you. Like I said, we're very accessible. We want to help you. Come over and talk to us. Share what you're doing. Get involved. And to prove that, matter of fact, we have just had a guest joining us. And hello, Sporkman.
What's up, guys? Thanks. I apologize there. I had some things going in. I sent you a message when you sent me the link earlier, or the chat earlier. Had some things that personal I had to take off because I got out of work a little late. So I apologize.
Well, that's fine. So let's go ahead and take a look at your project here. Sporkman goes to Japan, which is kind of interesting because, I live in Japan.
Oh,
And,
sweet.
Yeah, and I've lived here for most of my adult life, and you have 6 hours left. Wow, you're coming down to the wire, and
Yeah.
you have raised a lot more than the other project, 3,426, but you have a fixed goal here, so you are at only 45% of that.
Yeah.
Now, how you guys feeling over there?
Well, although we're probably most likely not gonna, make the goal. I mean, we're still pushing. We got 6 hours.
Sure.
Even though we're not gonna make the goal, we got some things lined up to relaunch the project. There were some things we did. Because this is really like our first time out on Donut Indiegogo, so we kind of made some mistakes, but we're gonna step back, and we're gonna kind of refocus more on just the Japan versus trying to bring some other stuff in, and we're gonna redo lettering, and we're gonna kind of make the coloring a stretch goal versus having it as part of the actual initial campaign.
I see. Well, when you do relaunch, the very first suggestion that we would have for you is to have this beautiful picture of Sporkman that we see behind this YouTube icon be this big splash picture right here, dude. And take this
Well,
video
it's
and
actually
drop it down below, man.
if you take a look, that's the splash.
Well, you have this one here. But I'm just saying the first thing that catches our eye. Because when we come over to a page as a consumer, right? When we come to a page, the first thing we see is boom, what's right in front of you here, right?
Mm-hmm.
And therefore, this has to catch our attention to come down. There's one thing to keep in mind. I'm coming over for the from the board gaming world on Kickstarter, right? And one thing we've learned over the past decade or I don't know, 8 years, I guess, of doing things over at Kickstarter is most people don't watch videos, man. You'd think they would. I do, but most people don't watch videos, and that is an analytic, by the way. That's not my opinion.
It's an effort.
Okay, that's actually interesting because we were told opposite by somebody else in the higher upper, in the upper echelon. See, this is one of the things that we kind of struggled with is we're getting. Like we had actually, one person tell us one thing, so we kind of redesigned the Indiegogo to try to help to what they gave us. And this was somebody kind of higher up in who have done multiple Indiegogos, and then somebody else tells us, no, you're doing it all wrong. So now it's the third person saying, well, okay, this is so we're kind of getting all this stuff. It is a learning curve,
Yeah. No, sure.
No, the video it works, but you have to drum up the interest to build up the more for the people to invest in the video. When you have the video as the first thing, people kind of don't want to touch it. But if you have a splash page and kind of like how you have the little pictures right there, if you had character design kind of building up to the video, then I'd be like, okay, now I have to see what this is all about. And you
so really what we should have done was take the keeping if you go on the next page, we actually have scenes from the actual artwork and stuff like that. Those should have been there first, and then the video at the very end.
Correct.
Maybe.
Okay.
Yeah. What I would have done is I would have taken this very nice picture that is sitting here as the thumbnail in the link, and I would have blown that up and had that the whole thing, and boom, because this is a good picture. This is a good one too, but I think it's well placed. I think where you have it is good.
Yeah.
But that I
are you talking about the heroic post that I use for you're talking about the heroic post one, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Up in the top left hand. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just giving advice. Of course, a lot of people are going to give you advice, man. But I'm just saying.
You there? Unfortunately, I've lost.
Yeah, go ahead. What'd you say? I think we lost.
I think he lost. Yeah.
Well, just to continue the thought, like I said, we spent years arguing with that over on Kickstarter, guys. with the code
Okay.
game, and we back and forth, back and forth. But we actually put analytics together, and people don't watch the video. So what people started
Mhm.
doing is they put these nice splash pictures to catch attention, and they would put video or videos below, and then they actually saw an increase in people watching videos. It's an interesting little analytic. Now I don't know why that is, but over here in the chat, for instance, James says, "I've backed 25 projects and never watched a video." It's just a reality, and the problem
Yeah.
is the video could be super cool, but if no one's clicking on it, then all you have is this video and whatever it's showing. Because we're talking about grabbing attention, right? Because I think your
Mhm.
comment looks good,
Right.
man. I think it looks fun. And we were talking about your perks the other day. We think up top here, you should have your featured perk instead of this $8 one. But I thought your perks were good. We went through it; it looked great. But why aren't your t-shirts sitting over here in the body where we can see the t-shirts? Why don't we see this wonderful figurine, action figure, sitting over here where we
Because
can get a big picture of it?
well, the figurine, what's going to happen was the figurine was originally going to be videos as it was being made. It was supposed to be done. They were going to be updates to everything.
I see.
Unfortunately, yeah, my friend got behind. His campaign was he was running a camp because he does figure modeling,
Mhm.
so he was running a campaign at the same time. So the
I
kind of
see.
he shelved the figure kind of behind.
Oh, that's too bad because that would have been cool. Actually, that would have drummed up interest. Today, we're launching video 2 or video 3. That's
Yeah.
actually fun stuff to do. So that's a great
And,
idea. Too bad that didn't
and I
happen.
and I completely agree with you. When we were talking last night in our stream, and when we had a meeting on Monday night, I'm like, dude, you really dropped the ball on, not having the figure done. That's something you were doing. You did one video about what you were going to do, and then that was it.
Mhm.
And so yeah, I completely agree with you on that. So
Yeah. Just to finish the video conversation, because the
Mhm.
chat is over here giving up their opinions, right? And to keep in mind, we're all consumers, right? We're people you're trying to sell to. And March Hare says, my internet sucks. So a lot of times I'll pass on the watching the video because it's choppy. Makes sense, right? That's
Mm.
another issue. A lot of people watch it on phones, things like that. So it's yeah, no, yeah, but that's enough on the video thing. I mean, we've made that comment. But the thing is, though, you got a lot of interest from within the community. Edwin loves your project. I like your project a lot. I think it's cool. It's cute. It's interesting. Um, so you definitely have some support over here. So don't give up on it, man. Keep trying.
Yeah.
Because
Well,
we.
go ahead, finish your thing, and I'll tell you what we're going to plan on doing here, so
No,
that way I can let everybody know.
I am completely done. Go right ahead and give it to us, man.
Oh, okay. So if we don't make the goal, because most likely, I mean, I'm being realistic, and I love that everybody's still trying to support the project, and please, let's try to make the goal as much as we can, but what we're going to do if we don't make it, basically what we're going to do is we're going to retool the campaign, like I said, and we're going to focus on redoing the letter, because unfortunately that was one of the biggest things I never liked in the project. And because it felt like felt too whimsical, you know what I mean? And there are some funniness in the comic, and it's a fun comic, but yet there's some serious things. So I felt that the lettering never fit the tone.
Okay.
So we are gonna redo that. That is a guarantee. Because also on top of that, the original company who we originally printed the original run through, they folded and they never gave us back our original prints.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So, and then on top of it, our original partner, who's kind of now like a silent partner, he lost all the original files too. So it's almost like we're forced to, you know what I mean? We're forced to restart everything over from the beginning, which is why we're still doing the lettering. Coloring, we decided we're backing off one. Like I said, we're going to turn that into a possible stretch goal if we get it, but we're just trying to get this relettered and out to people as much as possible. So, and then we're going to be running the campaign February, March time frame. That's going to give us some time also, because we're also looking into locking a publisher. We are talking to several of them, and both are. So these two companies are very excited for wanting our project. So we're tossing that back and forth.
Well, that's good, man. That's good. And make sure if you run into any companies, that are good to work with, helpful, and good companies. Share it within the community, please, because everyone
Hmm.
is always looking for good printers, good letterers, good whatever. And of course, Denali, you should speak on that. I know you and working with Dr. Wright and maybe Pixel, you guys are trying to build a resource database, right?
Right. To fulfillment, distribution, inkers, colorists, pencilers, kind of get all that information so we can have that. Hey, these are good, solid, reliable
Mhm.
work. Check out, get them contacts, check them out. These are resources for you, and build up the community in that way, in that regard as
Yeah,
well.
absolutely. What do you think,
I
Tank? You
like
got
that
some?
idea.
Yeah, it is a good idea. It's a great idea.
Yes,
We want to make this community very accessible. Go ahead, Tank.
Sporkman, contact me on Twitter at TakeFerretArt. Um, I'm gonna give you my services pro bono. I like this project. You have a great thing going here. It just needs some tuning up, man. And
Like,
I'm a
if you don't
quality
mind me asking, like, what do you mean by
I'm a quality
tuning up?
I do quality consultation
Okay.
for developmental marketing purposes and other things like that. So what I do is basically what I do is I take a look at your product, and then um, take a look at the way you're presenting it, and then I just go, okay, so we're gonna take this and we're gonna change it. We're gonna like with your rewards and whatnot.
Okay.
Every time you have a new item on the reward, do that item, boom, that's in the forefront, that grabs the attention. Working with the way the eye flows across your marketing campaign, through your marketing campaign, help you explore more potential. Like one of the things that came to mind immediately was boxes of Sporkman brand sporks. It's too easy
Yes.
to get a
How
bunch
did?
of really cheap
Oh my
sporks
goodness. Yes.
and print up some boxes, and they come pre-assembled. They're real cheap.
Okay.
And that's something that you can actually attach. And being honest with the consumer base here, that's something that you can actually attach a high profit margin to, which helps with your lower profit margin items. And we won't get
Okay.
to that. That's why I say let's talk on the back end,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
so that
Sure.
way you're completely confidential. And I really this project should have flown as is.
Yeah.
It really
Well,
should have.
yeah, now, I mean, this is just something I want to get your guys' opinion. Now, one of the things we're trying to do with campaign is we had a lot of interest of people in, Europe and Asia and stuff like that. Matter of fact, our artist is from Indonesia, so he had some people, back the campaign from there. So we were trying to incorporate shipping and handling to cover like a lot of places. Unfortunately, that was one of the biggest complaints a lot of people complained to us about was our shipping and handling. So what we did was we were trying to spread a flat price across the board.
You can't do that.
Yeah, you
Okay.
can't do that. You have to break down your market by regions.
Okay.
So you break it down by sector, and then like, Europe, and then and you go, okay, so what's the most expensive place to ship it to Europe? Cool. All of Europe is handled. Apologies to those who paid a little extra for their shipping. But there's lots of little things that could have gone into this, little gratis items
Right. Right.
that cost virtually nothing, that make people feel better about paying an extra price. They're like, you know what? I got away with murder. Look, I got a loot crate, as opposed to, the people love loot crate.
Yeah, well, I know one of the things that, part of the problem is we're already in debt, and so
I understand.
yeah, so what we're trying to do is one of the things is we're trying to go as minimal as possible, and then actually, in fact, just to let you guys know, we're kind of taking a loss on the floppies. Because one of the biggest things is people were complaining about the prices of paying $25 for a trade. So I'm like, okay, well, if they're not willing to pay, if they're going to have a tier of $25, well, I got to strip down certain things and give the $12 tier a little bit something different versus the $25 tier. Sure. So, for instance, like I gave them, okay, I'll give you guys the trade, but you're not going to get the trade at the 25, or you're not going to get the, or conventions at the $12 trade, but you're not going to get it at the $25 trade, because already as it is, I'm taking a loss. You know what I mean? So I was trying and that was kind of the hard thing. Actually, I got flack for that with my partner. Now, originally the plan was to do all the printing through Alterna because they,
Right.
they were releasing their thing. So by the time we were ready to release our project to the printers, their whole thing would have been set up and ready to go. We wouldn't have taken much of a loss. Like literally, I think we probably, the way I figured out was like $1 or $2 per issue. And so yeah, there was just a lot of little mistakes that we made on the project.
That's where the high profit items like little tchotchkes and mini prints and trading cards, that stuff really does. It has a high value because it's so neat. You have all these little things for little purposes.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's why they're in there. Actually, they are to help.
Yeah, that's why you put them in there is to pad your reward. So you raise the $25 reward is now a $30 reward, but it's got a little Sporkman keychain.
Which is interesting because I actually do. My best friend does make Sporkman keychains, and I was saying, hey, why don't we put those into the thing? And he's like, no, they're too hard to make. I'm like, okay. It's like so yeah.
I'm gonna show you where to shop, my friend.
Yeah.
I'm gonna show you where to shop.
Yeah, we'll definitely touch base.
You can find everything you need.
Okay.
Yeah, and you can find some of the most bizarre. You believe me, if especially when it comes to a utilitous item like the spork, there are tons of really cool things that you can do, and you can even you print off stickers. You put your sticker on it, make it an official product. And this is what toy companies do. This is what party favor companies do. This is the standard for the product. Is they go and they find these resources of companies that just make the most ridiculous items, and they're super cheap. And you can just like I said, we'll talk offline because I'm gonna help you out, man. I love this. I love this project. I love Sporkman. I have long said sporks are the most deadly weapon ever created by man.
I've always come back to their most useful spork, or the most useful utensil, because you got the fork and you got the spoon together. Besides, and you can still use the spoon. It's sharp enough to cut stuff for the most part.
The true story in Alaska. In 2007, a man was robbed of his wallet and watch at Spork Point.
Wow.
He ended up needing 3 stitches.
3 stitches. Well, that's a mighty
interesting,
dangerous encounter.
Real quick, Chiron said a question. So Model 3 is actually, we're working with some stuff with Model 3.
Good idea.
But there was a couple things. Unfortunately, logistically, our project was already up and running. He was not set for us to do some stuff, so we definitely are going to be reaching out to him for the thing for the next the next time we re-release. Also, he was also looking to do possibly a secondary figure for Sporkman. So cool. Those were just things that weren't into play when we were ready to launch, unfortunately. Right. So.
Well, that is one of the biggest recommendations I would give to you. Use all the help from the community that you can get. And that's what we want to do. We want to build up more and more community, helping each other be successful. That's what we do here on FanSpeak.
I want to see Sporkman t-shirt. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so do I.
I was going to say, I want to see Sporkman t-shirts at my local Hot Topic.
I had Hot Topic, which is interesting. We actually have t-shirts available.
You do.
We actually, we do. We actually have a whole store and everything. We have a Redbubble store. Sporkman Conventions is already available for people who are looking. If they don't want to back the project, but they don't want it because they're not sure of Sporkman, you can go get Sporkman Conventions. It's available on Indie Planet print to order. Our t-shirts are on Redbubble. We also do a local printer that has t-shirts available off our website of getspork.com.
Awesome. All right. Well, with that said, we need to wrap it up. You've given out that information. You have any other links you want to give out to people so they know where to go other than the Indiegogo here?
So you can get most of everything that we have is tied into our website of getspork.com. And also we are going to be kind of shifting to the Patreon for a little while to get, we're trying to get that trade cover done. So if anybody does want to join the Patreon. We got some stuff where you can actually donate, and you can actually, if you donate at a certain tier, you get the convention's comic print and shipped to you.
Cool. All right, man.
Okay. Thanks for the invite. I appreciate it.
Oh, no problem. Denelli's putting up those links. You guys definitely go check that out. But it sounds like they are going to be retooling it, and that's really cool. Because everyone wants to say spork, in the vein of Tick, of course. Well, thank you very much for joining us. So Tank, why don't you tell everybody where they can find you and your amazing services, sir?
You guys can find me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Tank Ferret Art. You can also find me tonight on Good Dog Press for the Drawn and Quartered Fan Edition. Tonight we are going to be doing Vash Stampede from Trigun.
Yes, we are.
Oh, man. Oh, I hope they bring it, because I do love me some Trigun.
Yeah, no.
You think they're going to add the Black Cat?
Huh. All right. So, Denali, make sure you drop that link for Manny's channel, because in 1 hour, we are going to be doing the fan edition Drawn and Quartered. And that's going to be on Good Dog Press, Manny's channel. And Denali's going to go ahead and drop that on here. And also keep in mind that, of course, we do our comics news today, every day at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We also have our FanSpeak at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time as well. But this week, it will be on Saturday and not Friday. Once a month, we have to do that, and in the end, I actually think it's good, because it allows us to get some guests on that we wouldn't be able to get during the week. So it actually works out really well. Also, keep in mind that we do our Bugbears Basement, and we don't have an announcement quite yet what we're going to be doing next week, but we will let you know that as soon as possible so that you can read along with us. All right, Denali. Well, take us out, sir.
Well, it's amazing. Just today, we're supporting an indie creator, and we found out that Take Ferret is a consultant and is doing this to help out the community. So we have the talent there. Everybody has a talent or something that they can provide to the community to make this better. So I'm amazed, when these interaction happens, the synergy that happens, and when we get excited and everything, that's what we're looking for. That's what we are in this movement for, to make comics great again, to build that community, to build those stories, to get those products out to you, and we are talking to printers, and talking to fulfillment services, and building that resources for you guys as well, so it's available for you. And like always, thank you for joining us. I hope to see you guys on Saturday for FanSpeak at 8 o'clock. Have fun tonight on Drawn and Quarter at Mandy's channel, Good Dog Press. And like always, your perception shapes your reality, so always make it a good one.
All right, guys. Later.
Ahoa.